Folks, in my 20 years working as an NFL scout, consultant, and insider, I've seen a lot of jaw-dropping moves, but what's unfolding right now? Honestly, I can't recall a situation this seismic, this layered in secrecy, and with stakes so high that it could reshape the entire landscape of the AFC, and possibly the league's power hierarchy for years to come. What I'm about to reveal is not just a rumor, not just a sneaky whisper behind closed doors. No, what I'm about to tell you is the kind of story that's been hidden in plain sight, under the radar of mainstream media, masked behind smoke screens and coded conversations. But trust me, this is real. Something unimaginable is happening, and it involves a name that could be the game changer of 2026, George Pickens. But here's where I challenge you, the true insiders, hit that subscribe button, smash that like, and activate the notification bell now. Because what I'm about to lay out could be the biggest NFL story of the offseason. And if you're not paying close attention, you'll miss the window of this unprecedented opportunity. We're talking about secrets buried within the front offices, negotiations fueled by billion-dollar stakes, and a move so bold that it could redefine the Bills' future, and perhaps the entire AFC landscape. If you're serious about knowing what's really happening behind the scenes, stay locked in, because what's coming next? It's not just a trade rumor, it's a potential legend in motion. Now, before I unveil the full picture, let's set the stage with some critical context. The Buffalo Bills are in a state of chaos, yet opportunity is knocking louder than ever. As of yesterday, their head coaching position is vacant after Sean McDermott's sudden firing. That's a seismic shakeup. But what's even more intriguing is the plan they're dreaming of, an offensive revolution led by a star receiver that could elevate this team from promising to unstoppable. That star? George Pickens. Let's dissect the situation from the ground up. I've dug through every insider report, every whispered conversation, every secret meeting in the league's shadow corridors. The Bills, known for their innovative offense and relentless culture, are now taking a hard look at the top wide receiver on the market, George Pickens. The former Georgia Bulldog, proven young and explosive, is the perfect piece in their puzzle. Why? Because they're desperate to finally unlock their full potential on offense, especially after last year's playoff heartbreak, an exit that left a bitter taste and a burning desire for redemption. They've identified Pickens not just as a receiver, but as a piece that could transform Josh Allen's game into an unstoppable force. The question is, how close are they to making this happen? And what's the true price of this deal in an offseason that's already brimming with cap chaos? Let's walk through the details that make this rumor not only plausible but almost inevitable. First, the inside scoop. Buffalo's new front office, still searching for their vision but unified in the belief that they need a splash, are quietly negotiating behind closed doors. The ownership led by Terry Pegula wants to make a statement this offseason. Their focus is clear, offensive dominance. Pickens fits that vision perfectly. He's only 24, entering unrestricted free agency soon, but there's a massive catch, his price tag. As of this morning, he's projected to command a 4-year extension worth over $133 million, averaging nearly $34 million per year. That's top-tier, franchise-altering money. It's the kind of deal that makes or breaks the salary cap, especially for a team with Josh Allen's massive contract and their own cap constraints. Now, here's the twist. Buffalo is notorious for shrewd negotiations, cap gymnastics, and strategic trades. Sources tell me that the Bills' front office has already begun informal discussions with Pickens, agents at Athletes First, serious talks that aren't just exploratory but signal a willingness to move sooner rather than later. With the NFL's trade deadline already passed, this scenario hinges on a blockbuster trade right around the draft or even sooner. But how do they pull it off? That's where the mechanics get fascinating. Imagine this. Buffalo offers a compelling package, perhaps a first-round pick, 2 second-rounders, and a player swap depending on the salary cap gymnastics involved. The Cowboys, eager to retain Pickens, but also mindful of their cap situation and draft capital. They hold multiple early picks in 2026. Might see this as an opportunity to reset the roster. With the Cowboys projected to franchise tag Pickens at around $28 million, and considering their cap space, estimated at around $22 million. An aggressive trade could involve a combination of draft picks, a young defensive player, or even a conditional pick deal that adjusts based on the success of Pickens's extension. But here's where it gets really spicy. The Cowboys are reportedly wary of losing their star receiver in free agency, just as they did with Amari Cooper and others, so they want premium compensation. Buffalo, on the other hand, is desperate for an immediate upgrade to their passing attack. They need a game-breaker to elevate Josh Allen's offense, to finally break the playoff curse that has haunted them since 1993. So if we're talking about the trade mechanics, it might look like Buffalo sending a 2026 first-round pick, a second-round pick, and perhaps a promising young defender or offensive lineman, something to sweeten the deal. The Cowboys, in turn, get their franchise receiver, a proven deep threat who averaged 15.4 yards per reception last season, with 93 catches for over 1,400 yards and 9 touchdowns. That's a player who would immediately jump into the top 5 receivers in the league, elevating Dallas's offense to a new stratosphere. Now, why would Buffalo do this? Because the front office sees Pickens as a player who can be their face, an elite talent capable of dominating for the next 5 years. His technical skill set is exceptional. A 6'3", 200-pound frame, elite speed, and plus contested catch ability. He's clutch stepping up in key moments, and his advanced metrics, third in yards after catch among all receivers last season, highlight just how explosive he can be. But what about the scheme fit, you're asking? Perfect. Buffalo's new offensive coordinator, who's still being finalized, will undoubtedly tailor their system around Pickens's strengths: deep routes, post-corner concepts, and vertical stretch plays. Meanwhile, the Cowboys would shift their offense to incorporate more explosive targets for Dak Prescott, with Pickens providing that missing element of size and speed the last 2 years. It's a match made in strategic heaven. Looking at the numbers, Pickens's 2025 campaign was his breakout. He piled up 93 catches for 1,429 yards, almost 15.5 yards per reception, and 9 touchdowns, earning a second-team All-Pro nod. His catch rate of nearly 68% and success rate over 65% demonstrate his reliability as a route runner and receiver. Advanced stats like PFF grade rank him among the top 5 receivers in the league. He's exactly the type of player who can elevate an offense, especially as defenses focus on preventing Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen's connection. Now, the full scope of the trade? It's complex, sure. But mark my words, this deal could happen before the draft, with both teams making a calculated risk for long-term dominance. Buffalo's front office needs a splash to sway fan confidence, and Pickens's rising star is the perfect marquee piece. Meanwhile, Dallas is looking to secure their future core after some recent cap messes, and the chance to land a young, proven elite receiver might be too good to pass up. And here's the kicker. If this trade goes through, it's not just about the immediate impact. It's about setting a new narrative for the AFC, Buffalo finally unlocking that next-level offense, and Dallas establishing themselves as a true contender with the league's most dynamic receiver. It's a chess move at a league-wide level, and every NFL insider knows it. But what are the real risks? Well, for Buffalo, losing draft capital and risking a player not fitting seamlessly into their new scheme. For Dallas, losing the potential to keep Pickens long-term without securing a major extension. But if they do make this move, it's game over for the AFC, because with Pickens paired with Diggs and Allen, Buffalo would have their version of Mahomes-Kels, but faster, bigger, meaner. For Dallas, it's a shot at finally closing the championship window with the league's most explosive offense. So what's next? Watch the draft, watch free agency, and most importantly, watch the silence in Buffalo and Dallas. Because behind those quiet negotiations are the birth of what could be the most legendary trade in NFL history. Pickens, with his blazing speed and uncanny ability to take over games, could be the missing piece that turns the tide in this league's most heated rivalry. And if you still think this is just speculation, think again. The pieces are moving, quietly, deliberately, and the curtain is about to rise on a blockbuster that could define the NFL's new era. Stay tuned, because what's coming? It's not just a trade. It's a legacy in motion, and you're witnessing the beginning of a new dynasty in real time. Remember, in the NFL, history is written by those bold enough to make the moves no one saw coming. And this offseason, It's about to get legendary.